All right, so today we're going to talk about the 5 best builds in Elden Ring. But of course, it's always subjective, and it all depends on your playstyle and what's, playstyle that you like to play. So these are my best builds and stuff like that. And if you guys feel the same, then let me know. If you don't, if you have other different builds that you guys like, go ahead, leave a comment, please. I would like to hear your guys' builds. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's start off with number 5. So number 5 is going to be the Executional Sword. Then your finger seal. We need a finger seal so we could get the buffs that kind of matter a lot are the talismans. So our talisman, we got the Shard of Alexander, we got the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, and we got Axe Talisman, and we got Millicent's Prosthesis. The stats that really matter a lot is 60 Vigor. We got 80 Strength, 25 Faith, and 60 Arcane. Our weapon scales with Arcane and Strength abilities. So we have the Golden Vow. Then we have Grant Me Strength. So those two incantations are the ones you need. You buff those up, and there you go. You go into the battle. All right, so coming in at number 4, we got the Darkmoon greatsword. So this thing is a very powerful weapon. It does melee and it does ranged. So with the range attack and the melee attack, it breaks the stance really good. Like 1 or 2 hits, then he's done, he's out. So we got that really good. Especially really powerful too when you pair it up with the Carrying Regal Scepter. Insane weapon build. So our primary stat, what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and pair it up with intellect. So first intellect, get that thing at 80, very powerful. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do vigor. So vigor, I have it at 60, of course, because I got the extra points, but like 40 is manageable, of course. 40, 50, or 60, one of those. 60 is the hard cap, so 60 is like the max you'll ever need. I would not go over 60 for sure. We also need to go ahead and boost up our mind too. I got my mind at 38. That's not a bad choice either to put it about around 30ish or whatever, because we need the it boosts our FP pool so we can cast our spells, and I'll go ahead and explain the spells later, but that's what we're gonna need. And then endurance for gear, strength. We need to boost up some strength because of the weapon damage, and that would be it for our stats. Weapons. So weapons, of course, is going to be the Darkmoon Greatsword, the star of the show. This weapon scales fantastically with intelligence and boosts a unique weapon skill that fires crescent moon waves. The Carrion Regal Scepter, a great catalyst for casting sorceries alongside the Darkmoon Greatsword. Go ahead and move on to talismans now. So our talisman is, we got the Godfrey Icon. We have the Crescent Shield Talisman. We have the Dagger Talisman. And we have the Shard of Alexander. You could also use another one like the Scorpion Magic Talisman. Use that one, of course, but I don't like to use it. It just hurts your defense. And we're going to move on to our Flask. Our Flask is the one I use, is the Stonebard Crack Tier and the Magic Crack Tier. All right, so our spells that we're going to use is we're going to use the Terra Magica to buff our magic damage. Then we're going to use the Thronal's Full Moon Frost damage. Then we're going to use this just for like a defense. Those are the 3 main spells that we use mostly. You can also use the Golden Vow incantation. It does help. I just don't like to sit there and just buff for 10 minutes before every single fight, when already the fight is going to end very quickly. So coming in at number 3, we got Eleonora's poleblade. This one right here is a massive weapon. This thing does flame and bleed damage. So you got both of the good stuff. So coming in, so what we need for our stats is we need vigor. It's I have mine at 60. You don't obviously need that high. 40 is pretty manageable, but I had extra points, so I just put it in vigor. Also, too, you need a little bit of mind, a little bit of endurance. Depends on what kind of gear you have, stuff like that. You need no strength and dexterity. We're gonna need dexterity is gonna be our main stat, so it's gonna be at 75, 80 if you can afford it, but 75 is doable. Also, faith, I have mine at 33, but you obviously don't need that high. It depends on what kind of incantations that you're gonna have. So I have mine at 33 because I was just messing around with some incantations and stuff like that, and I just left it because I had extra points. But 25 is really what you need in order to use the golden vow and the flame grant me strength. Those are the two. You need 25 faith for that and arcane, and whatever you have, you throw in arcane, also for bleed damage. So those are the stats. Now we're gonna do the talismans. So the talismans is Shard of Alexander, the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia, the Millicent's Prosthesis, and the Lord of Blood. So now we're gonna do our flask. So our flask is the Thorny Crack tier, and then the Flame Shrouding Crack tier. So we got the Beastman, the Beastman's Curve Sword. And we use the blood affinity on these with the Saboku Ash Ward on both of them, same. And then we got the Finger Sail. We got the Finger Sail because we use some incantations. It's our talismans, Claw Talisman. We got the Rotten Wing Sword Talisman, the Millicent's Prosthesis, and the Lord of Blood. So our stats. So this is our stats. So what we got here? Vigor, 50, 60. It's really all the same, honestly. Then we need strength, lots of strength, and then lots of arcane is your main. And then faith, you need 25 faith at least to use the golden vow incantation. All right, so coming in at number 2. Now, number 2 and number 1 is really difficult. So this is a really difficult choice to make of which one is actually better, in my opinion. And so we came in at number 2. We're gonna do the Starfist, and this Starfist is a massive weapon. You just do heavy attacks, and it's GG the whole every single boss out there. It's insane damage. So where we're gonna start off, our main thing is gonna be strength. So strength all the way up to 80, because it's pretty much like maxed, all that good stuff. Then you want to come in at vigor. So your vigor you want at 60, of course. All of them are always at 60. You don't want no more than that. If you don't have that many points, then 40, 50, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. So then after that, we're gonna do arcane. So we want arcane, and arcane is because blood loss, stuff like that is what we got on there. And your endurance, you want your endurance up so you could wear heavy armor. That's what I use the heaviest armor that I could find, so I just put up my endurance up a lot. You don't need no mind, you don't need no dexterity, and you don't need no intelligence. So those are the stats that I picked here. What we got going on here is we got Starfist, of course, right? So what I do is I switch between the heavy and the occult. This is what I've been using. The occult will give you a little bit more blood loss damage, but the heavy gives you more physical damage. So some bosses need more physical damage, and some bosses need more blood loss damage. So that's what I've been switching back and forth to, the occult and the heavy. It's an easy swap, but I've been using Crave Blade. So I've been using Crave Blade for that thing because I like because it gives you more attack power.
Now talismans. So talismans, I use the axe talisman. For more charged attacks, you use nothing but charged attacks is what I use for this build. So you raise attack power with successive attacks. That's where we're using those attacks. So enhanced critical hits. So we got it. Yep. And then Millicent's Prothesis. Boost dexterity. Raise attack power with successive attacks. Successive attacks, charged attacks. That's what you're using the whole entire time. We're trying to get them down quick. That's what we're doing. You want your flask. I got spiked and thorny is what I got. So I could boost my charged attack power and boost my successive attack power. This shit does crazy damage. So that's kind of what you want, is a lot of damage up front. You want to knock them down. And if you hold your charge down and hit them, then you'll knock them down with 3 hits.
Alright, so coming at number 1, we got the dual Magma Blade build. So this right here is the hardest hitting build in the game. This demolishes every single boss. None of these bosses in Elden Ring stand a chance against this build. And the most difficult thing about this build is getting the Magma Blades. It's a very difficult task. It takes hours of grinding to get it. I'm not going to go through that right now just because I already have a video on it. So check out my video if you like, if you want to know how to get these. But these are the rarest weapons in the game. Alrighty, so alright, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead with our character stats. So our character stats, so our main stat is gonna be strength. We want to max that out to 80. Strength gotta be at maxed out. That's where our damage is. So we got vigor. Vigor is gonna be at 60, or you could be at 40 or 50. But if you have extra points, you want it at 60. If you don't have a lot of points, that wouldn't really matter about vigor too much. As long as it's at 40, then you're golden through the whole entire game. Then, you know, mind, endurance, a little bit of that stuff. Gonna need a little bit of faith just to hit the incantations and stuff like that. That's what we need it for. No arcane and no intelligence. And there you go. There you have it. Those are the stats that we're gonna need. Simple enough.
And for our flask, we got the flame flask and the thorny cracked tier build. For our spell, we're gonna do the flame, grant me strength spell, and then the golden vow. I have the
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Well, these are my best builds, my favorite builds that I like to play in Elden Ring. If these aren't yours, go ahead and let me know in the comments below of what you like and what you think is better. Also, too, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys. You guys have a good one.